I'm dancing along already.
Good. That's what you should be doing. It's important.
Click.
All right, here we are.
All right. Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Illuminated Page. I'm Matt, and joining me this week is Shawn
Hi,
Parks.
guys. Yep.
Park?
Shawn Parks.
Singular or Parks. Playing
Plural.
Aaron Lockhart. And then we've got Roxy Thompson playing Jewell Rumtree.
Hello, all.
David McFarland playing Professor Dalphus Hardgrove. And John Thompson playing Boom Boom Bobby Blackwood.
That's right. That's what we called you the whole time you were gone, when they reminded me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Last time we left off, you guys are in London. It's going swimmingly. No one has been killed yet.
You
There
know,
was an
it
attempt
was
or
real
two.
close. Yeah, it was real close last week.
Possible broken jaw, major wound, but it's all good.
Got beat up by an artist.
Scrawny, insane artist.
There has been. You guys are on your third hotel. It's going great. There's
not
been
paranoid
some.
You okay? Did we lose you?
Yeah, we lost him, it sounds like.
Uh-oh, Matt.
Did you guys lose me?
Yeah, you're getting a little choppy.
Getting choppy. That's not good.
Yeah, your video went way down in quality. And
Oh, I see. Yeah, that is weird.
Let me 1 second, y'all. Well, actually, it looks like it might be clearing. No, it didn't clear up. I thought
it's
it
just
might.
when it's in a smaller resolution. It
Yeah.
looks better.
Let's see here. I can do. Oh wait, it's right here. Duh. Sorry, David. You're gonna blink for a second too. I'm gonna call you back real fast, Matt. See if that helps. Is that okay?
Yep.
So let's. Can I just disconnect from you? Yes. All right. Matt Quiett left because I booted him out. Can you still hear us, David?
Yes, I can.
All right. Yeah, you sound fine.
Yeah, David's video looks fine, too.
Yep.
You look fine.
Don't be doing some max headroom here.
Good, you caught it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's see. I can hear myself a little bit again, but I think it'll fix like it did last time.
Sure.
All right, let's see how that goes. Let me turn this off. Transition. Are you still sitting low, or do I need to adjust your camera?
I am sitting low.
Join
Let me
us.
Fix that.
Join us, Matthew.
Is that better?
That is better. I see more of you now. You aren't just like a little head.
I can't see on my Skype screen. Just FYI.
Oh, because I probably have to reshare it. But if go ahead and you can do your spiel, and I'll get that set up here.
Cool. So you guys had done some old-fashioned stakeouts. Notice that Pinhue clearly was waiting for you guys to show up to hurt you guys. He had some heavies come in and kind of hang out. Then he went to a tea shop in Soho.
I thought it was a spice shop.
Didn't quite see what happened.
Yeah, spice shop.
You're right. It is a spice shop. Sorry.
That's all right.
He was going to spice.
Spices tea for the food. Bobby might have gone way back in time. We don't know.
He's got
Not like anybody's insane or growing scales on their arms.
I was saying he's got a wonderful patch of scales now to remember the trip by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
So
Hey, we gained a follower tonight. Oh, is that
Yay.
guy from earlier?
Yeah.
Sorry.
believe so.
Nice. But yeah, so is it next morning yet, or are we still...
We left it. We just got room service.
It's up to you guys. Did you guys need to do anything for the night before?
No, I think we were going to eat and go to sleep.
Oh yeah, we did get room service, didn't we? And then we checked it? Or was that at the other place?
No, that was at the other place.
Yeah. Did we
no,
order room service
you guys
twice?
haven't got anything? That's fine. You can. It can be the next morning. That's not a problem.
Yeah.
Okay. If it's the next morning, Miss Rumtree's gonna wake up and she's probably not gonna do her face because it's just not worth it anymore to her. With the way things have been going, it's just. I mean, she might put on a little foundation, but she's not.
Snake people aren't impressed.
It's it's something that she's not real fond of doing anyway. It's more of a societal thing that she feels that she's been made to conform to. So she's not going to do her makeup, but she is going to wait for the gentleman to wake up, and she is going to apologize for her behavior the last couple days because she knows it's been a little on edge. But she's been a little stressed out since the events of New York. And apparently Bobby Blackwood seems like he's concerned that I'm a snake person. Because he's looking at me like things aren't kosher.
I'm more concerned I might be a snake person. Anyway.
Well, we're all a little concerned that you might be a snake person, Bobby, but
I'm good, Bobby. I got your back.
as long as you're wearing long sleeves.
I'm not worried about him being a snake person. There's no worry on my end. I know.
You just know that he is one. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she
But
would
aren't we all snake people deep inside?
Yeah. I mean,
I'm not currently in political power, so no.
ooh.
Oh, shots fired.
Yeah, shots fired. Current events. But no, she may even order breakfast for everyone and put it on her own account.
Okay.
But she orders whatever she thinks they're gonna like. She doesn't know. She doesn't ask. She's like, "I got breakfast for you. I hope this." I apologize.
I'm gonna
Here,
come.
Grandpa, you get a bran muffin.
Is there
She knows that you like bran muffins, Dalphus.
I'll stumble into the room and be like, "Did you order coffee?"
Yeah, I
Thank
got it all.
God.
I don't particularly drink
Black coffee, bacon. Yes.
beans?
I'm gonna try and gently eat a piece of toast to see how well my jaw works after last night.
Oh yeah, we can't do another first aid check on him until next week, can we?
That is correct.
Unless we take him to some sort of facility.
Even if you take him to a facility, you can roll a medicine check, but he has healed as much as he possibly can right now.
And how much did you heal? 6?
Mm,
Oh,
one.
just 1?
Just one.
Yes.
Oh, then he still has. Yes, he could see a doctor and get healed maybe a little more, but
Okay.
not by a whole lot.
Yeah, because I took the major wounding because I crit failed and
Oh,
took
that's right.
more than half damage. So I was at 12. I'm down to 5. No, I was at 13 and I took 6.
Yeah. Ouch.
Nope, sorry, 12 and I took 6. So
Yeah.
half damage. I'm majorly wounded.
So if you got 1 back, then you're 7.
Yes.
Okay. I just realized I've got a thing on here I could fill out,
But
but
I cannot check to see if I've got over the major wounded for another week.
Yeah.
that's
Sorry, I am texting my son. I know what the problem was with my camera now.
Oh, was he streaming?
He was doing something and it was using the internet pretty heavy.
Yeah, that's because I was like, you have gotten. It sounds a lot better now.
Yeah, the video
Yeah,
looks
and
good.
I can see that I look better too. So, so you guys are up in the morning. Jewell Mrs. Rumtree has ordered room service for everyone. What is the plan today?
Well, I believe we discussed previously, at least I believe Officer Aaron mentioned it, that we need to probably stop by that spice vendor. Spice house? Do they have houses of spice? Is it like an Indian restaurant or is it like an actual spice
Spice shop.
store?
That's where you get spice.
It's a spice store, yeah.
It's where you spice.
Well,
Interesting.
Spice up your life.
so
Let's just go to the HEB.
what's the plan overall at this point?
Well, we've got.
Well,
Trying to figure it all out.
I'm gonna get our documents. I'm gonna start ruffling through it. I mean, we've got 3 options.
we got a lot of leads.
Yeah.
Yeah, but do we want to do anything about anything here?
I think we're out of our water trying to do anything here. I don't think we've got the resources or backup to take on the Penhue Foundation to do anything about that. I mean, unless we straight up kill Penhue.
Well,
Or
Gavigan.
Gavigan, thank you.
I'm just, I'm kind of. This all got started because Elias got killed.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
This is likely the guy that ordered that.
Yep. I don't think any of us disagree with that.
He's also likely the guy that's going to order all of us getting killed.
It sounds like he already has. So,
Or-
I mean, I don't think that's going to change.
Wants to hurt us severely.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to change, especially so. Being as far as I understand, you have determined that it was likely our telegram to him that alerted the Bloody Tongue to our presence,
Yeah,
not the police. Yeah,
and it's a gut feeling, but yeah, I think he was the one that was
And
behind the
that-
attacks
that
on us
makes-
afterwards as
that
well.
makes sense in my opinion. The issue is if he already thinks that we're getting too close to something, I honestly believe wherever we go, it's going to go with us. So we either need to handle it, whatever that means. We either need to handle Mr. Gavigan, sort him out, as it were, or,
Yeah.
No,
that's pretty much.
because
where
I don't
I'm
think
at
we
in
can't
this.
just go back to New York and start trying to live regular again.
No.
Can I point out a couple of leads that you guys have?
Sure.
You have an inspector that you have not spoken with that was mentioned to you by the guy at the news,
Yep.
Mickey
the
Mahoney?
newspaper. Mickey Mahoney suggested you speak with Inspector Barrington.
Yep.
Okay,
About the murders of the foreigners.
that's right.
So those two kind of go together, obviously, but that
Sure.
that might be a thing that you might want to look into. There's also the Penhue Foundation to explore. There might be information inside there.
Is it a place that you can just go and look around?
No, I think we'd have to sneak in at night.
There you go.
Okay.
I mean, you could go during the day, but that's going to be pretty
No.
clear, right?
I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't misunderstanding the nature of the
Yeah.
facility. I didn't
You-
know if it was
there-
somewhere where people
No,
could
we-
go
we-
and look at artifacts.
We'd have to do some. Well, I'm sure it is, but we're persona non grata now. There,
Oh,
I mean,
no,
if
no.
we
Yeah,
step
yeah.
foot in there during the daytime,
I
it's
got you.
gonna be
I
ugly.
got you. I just was worried that I misunderstood.
we're gonna have to do some major skulking.
Yeah, and then further, Gavigan has other places. So you know of at least a townhome here in London. It's likely that he owns other estates outside of that, since Penhue left everything to him, or left everything to the foundation. He runs the foundation, so
Right.
ipso facto, and so forth.
Do you think if we showed up again at the Penhue Foundation during the day, and it's not necessarily that we're persona non grata, I mean, we left amicably as much as we could.
Right, and
He
he
doesn't
doesn't
know-
know. He doesn't know that we
you
know
know.
that he's
Sure. Well, he just knows that we didn't show up yesterday.
right. And I think we gave a
Well,
pretty valid
so if-
excuse.
Yeah, we said that there was.
Oh, yeah.
The
That's
painter's
right.
house.
So what
was-
if we showed up again unannounced? Do you think he'd still have the heavies there? Or do you think he's going to just keep a retinue of gentlemen
I don't think he's gonna keep the heavies on staff, but I think as soon as we set foot in, there's
You'll
going to be
call him?
calls made.
And honestly, what are we going there to do?
Anything that we want to find, we're gonna have to find in secret. Not he's not gonna willingly give up anything.
Yeah, I suppose you're
Yeah.
correct.
Well, I mean, anything we want to find is secret. But at this point, I think we need to look for evidence that he's the one who ordered Elias dead.
then that's going to be probably at the Pinhue Foundation.
Or his home. I think it'd be more likely that he would have that kind of evidence in a more private setting than a public.
Did we have an address
And
for
then
his?
we can.
Before we do anything with Mr. Gavigan or his locations, I do think we need to talk to Scotland Yard about
the bodies. I
about
agree.
the bodies, and let's at least follow up on that, and at least get information. I don't know how keen I am on going anywhere that is not a public place.
I feel fairly safe going to Scotland Yard.
Yeah, but if he asks us to meet us anywhere else, I don't particularly care to go, because going to the Shipley house was not
A
something.
disaster.
Yeah, I don't want to do anything like that again, and I'm sure that
And I feel the same about going to Lester Edel. I don't think that has anything to do with our
I don't think there's
quest.
anything.
our-
Yeah,
our
there's something going on there, but it's not directly
investigation.
related to this.
Agree.
I think the most telling thing, or the most pressing issue that we could talk to Officer Barrington about is the body that looked like it had possibly been sacrificed ritually, that was missing the heart.
So before we go and talk to the inspector, are we good giving him what happened to Elias? Letting him know that we're here because of what happened to our friend, and we've heard that he's had cases similar to this. I think
Let's sit and chat with him for a minute. But yeah, I think we're going to have a reason to be talking to him, and I think that's fine. I mean, mentioning.
Do you think he'd be suspicious if we ask him to bare his neck to see if he has a leather strap around it with a cult
I don't
symbol?
think he would. I don't think he would. He's not going to do that for a bunch of Yanks like us. But he. What I would suggest is to not even mention the Carlisle expedition
No.
at this point.
No, just simply that we're following up on what happened to.
Yeah, there was a card in his pocket that led us to London, and
Going through the newspapers, we saw that
we saw that there was some other questionable things, and just to see if we can get some more information.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. Professor, you got any thoughts?
I've been saying that we probably ought to talk to the police, but yeah, I agree. At this point, what there is remaining and what we need to do. So, sounds like we got it worked out.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys are going to finish up breakfast and then contact the inspector?
Yes.
Yeah. And I would also say that I don't believe we should mention anything about Mr. Shipley or what occurred.
Oh no.
Okay.
Oh no.
Okay. I want to get.
I want to forget every moment
I do too.
in that house.
I do too. I just feel like perhaps I've miscommunicated or misunderstood what we were going in other situations, and I just want to make sure I get all my thoughts on the table. Sometimes playing life close to the vest doesn't help in situations like this.
Speaking of which, Bobby, where did you stick that painting? It's not obvious, correct?
No.
It's been rolled up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Took it off the frame. Rolled
Right.
it up
And then it's under a mattress or stuck somewhere.
No, it's probably going to be stuck in my luggage somewhere.
Okay. Not that I
Okay.
think that's
All
going to
right,
lead
so
anybody back, but
are you asking the inspector to meet you guys somewhere, or are you going to Scotland
I would
Yard?
rather if we were to make an appointment, I would make it. I think we would want to make it with him
At Scotland Yard.
At Scotland Yard at his office.
agree.
Yeah.
So when you call, the receptionist tells you that you can meet the inspector just before lunch. He'll be available to come on up, and he'll be happy to talk with you.
And it's Inspector Barrington.
Yes. So you guys arrive on time. You find a man in his early 50s, dressed in a, typical suit and coat, and he's got a kind of the wider brim fedoras. I can't think what they're called, but he's got an appropriate hat as well, hanging kind of behind him. He says, "What can I do for you, folks?"
Well, Inspector Barrington, thank you for meeting with us. I know probably unexpected. We are here because of something that happened in New York. A friend of ours was brutally murdered, and he had some information on him that, pointed us towards London, and we noticed that in our research that you have been investigating some murders that are very similar to his, and we were wanting to know if there was anything you could share with us about that.
And does your associate have a name?
His name is Elias Jackson.
Jackson Elias.
Jackson Elias.
Can everybody give me a psychology roll?
Oh, one of the ones that are
Oh,
terrible.
99. That is a failure.
My dice
But it's
been
not
put
a
up.
crit failure. There's none in there, baby. I'm sorry.
Here, I got it.
I'll send you
borrow
some here
for
in
a
a
moment.
second. Now that is a 72 over 16
Not at all.
for me. David, where's that extreme success, Professor? David, you're muted.
David? Yeah, I think you're muted.
How about now? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, I did not get a success either.
Good. Excellent.
Gosh
So,
dang it.
yes, I am familiar with Mr. Elias. You said that he was murdered.
Yes.
Can you describe the scene? I assume you guys introduced yourselves as who you actually are.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Mr. Lockhart, could you describe the scene as you would expect a police officer to see it?
He was on the bed, on his back, and his chest had been carved open. There was no
Okay.
sign of forced entry. They didn't come in through the door. We expect that they came in through the window because as we entered the room, it appeared that that's the way they
were fleeing out.
Fleeing out the window, but they didn't break the window in as far as we could see.
Okay. When you say that they carved open his chest,
He was eviscerated.
Yeah, he was opened, and his heart was missing, and he also had a curious symbol carved into his forehead.
what symbol?
I would show him my sketch.
Okay.
Do you want me to pull up that handout?
No, that's not a big deal.
Okay, cool.
I don't recognize the symbol. Although the murders do sound similar in some ways to the killings here. I had actually spoken with Mr. Elias about the murders. He was under the impression that they were ritual killings by a group called the Brotherhood of the Black Pharaoh. He said it was an Egyptian death cult. I have interviewed some people about this, although even the experts over at the Pinhue Foundation denied that the cult has any modern-day equivalent.
Does Lockhart actually scoff?
A little bit, but yeah.
It was suggested that perhaps Mr. Elias was a sensation-seeking profiteer, although that isn't how he came off to me.
He wasn't at that. I mean, the professor knew him better than I did, but he did this out of a pursuit.
A man has to make a dime.
Well, yes, but
Sure.
A man has to make a shekel. I don't know what they spend in. It's not pounds. What's lower than pounds? Pence. A man has to make a pence, but he didn't seem the money grubbing type to me.
Yep.
And from my understanding of his writings, they are well received in their smaller circles. It's not a large group of people that are reading his books.
Well, no, and I mean, not everybody wants to know about death cults. I mean,
Sure.
that's a given, yes.
Sure. There are some other things about the murders that were interesting, but really that's the parts that I had, or that is the part that Mr. Elias had given to me that I had been able to follow up on and didn't go anywhere with.
Have you had any recent murders. I think the last one that we read about was within the last month or so.
Yeah, there was one last night that
Really?
they're cleaning up the scene on now. There was one yesterday too, but I don't think it was the same. That was a strange scene, and there's a survivor who has who will hopefully be able to give us some information. He was locked in the closet up in the attic.
How strange.
So tell me more. What caught your eye about these murders?
The ones that you've investigated. We read, I believe Dalphus and I read an article about one. GM, you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong.
Sure.
One that was pulled from the Thames and missing a heart.
Okay.
And obviously the missing a heart thing doesn't sound like it's something that's too common. And then there was another one that gave us pause due to some things that we discovered while we were in New York. But it seemed like they had been the victim had been beaten with blunt objects.
Okay. What else are you folks doing here in London exactly?
Honestly, that's all that we're here for.
We're
We're
just
trying
trying
to
to
figure out what happened to Jackson.
And forgive me, these murders are your only lead at this point?
They certainly. I mean, we've got some feelers out for maybe more information on the cults that Jackson was looking into, but really, we're kind of
Grasping at straws to find a direction for
yeah.
us to look.
I mean, because honestly, Jackson was the sort of man that would, this kind of thing was his pursuit, and I think we all agree that he deserves somebody to look into what happened to him, as it obviously was not a natural death.
I see. Ed, can you both roll me either persuade or fast talk?
I will go for fast talk.
Well, I'm going to fail at both, but
And
let's see
that
what
is
happens.
a normal success for me on fast talk.
Oh, crap. I'm like really... that's actually really close on persuade. I'm surprised. I got 18 over 10. I think I might use luck.
Okay. Give me just a second. I'm going to go look up the stats for this guy.
Hey,
There
I'm
he is.
sorry I'm a little distracted at the moment. I'm having a computer issue I'm trying to fix.
Oh, okay.
No worries, boss. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and use luck and get a regular success on that.
And you got a regular success as well, Mr. Lockhart.
Correct.
He kind of leans back in his chair, pulls open a desk, pulls out a pipe and tobacco, kind of fills it. It seems to be doesn't seem to be saying anything, but kind of seems to be mulling over a few things. He puts the pipe in his mouth, closes the drawer, takes out a match, and then pulls the pipe out of his mouth and says, "So this is the only, you have no other leads that you followed up on at all?"
In London, no. This is the first lead that we followed up in London. We followed up several angles in New York, and they all seem to point here.
And forgive me, Mr. Lockhart, I don't like to use the tone I'm about to use unless I feel that there's a reason to. You realize that I can track your progress here in town. I am a police officer, and if I feel that there's something suspicious going on, perhaps if you were overzealous or perhaps are hiding something from me, I would look into that. Are you sure this is the only other lead that you've looked into?
Honestly, officer, the only thing that we have done is we have talked to someone at the Penhue Foundation.
Yes.
We met with...
But still in relation to Jackson Elias.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. He lights his pipe and kind of sits back and puffs it a couple of times and says, a couple of other things about the murders that might give you better information. There's an Egyptian night spot in London called the Blue Pyramid Club. It's in Soho. Many of the murdered had frequented the club, but police stakeouts had really learned nothing of the area.
And what was that? It was called the Blue Pyramid?
Blue Pyramid Club. Before dying, one of the victims reportedly cried out "Hotep." It's an ancient Egyptian word meaning rest or peace, according to Edward Gavigan. And then we did interview a spice dealer, Tufik Al-Said. He had once guided an Egyptian expedition for the Penhew Foundation. He also denied the existence of the Brotherhood of the Black Pharaoh as well. And a police tale really learned nothing about him, but I didn't care for his... There was something wrong about that. I'm not quite sure what.
Where is this guy?
He runs a spice store in Soho. He gives you the address. It's the place that you guys staked out.
Yep.
Or the place that Gavigan ended up at. Not that you guys
The spice place?
staked out that.
Yeah, that would have been when you and the professor were tailing him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Question, because I don't see it in my notes. There was an Middle Eastern name on one of the things that we found. Was it Al-Said?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I would have to find it really quick.
I don't think it was either. It was I think it was a telegram or something.
Yes. It's not Al-Said, I don't think.
Just wanted to check because I did not see it in my notes. So, can you give me that name again for the man that denies the existence of the Black Pharaoh?
Tufik, Tewfik.
Tewfik.
Al-Said, hyphen Sayed.
Okay. All right.
Was the name that you're thinking of Roxy Fajad Najir?
Yeah, that's the one.
All right.
Faraz Najir, yeah.
Yep.
Glad we found it at the same time, Shawn.
Yeah. I know it's on a handout. I just had not.
No, it's fine.
Interesting. Okay. But Jewell is feverishly scribbling notes. So.
I'm gonna look at the inspector and be like, I really appreciate you sharing this information. I understand your hesitancy in doing it because you don't know us. You don't have any idea what we're really doing here. But I can assure you that our whole reason for being here is finding justice for our friend that was killed, and we will share any information we find with you.
If you'd like us to.
Can you give me more information about the crime scene? You said there were two people in the room that fled out a window?
There's two people in the room.
Were you in the room?
Yeah.
Okay, you came in.
The professor and I went down the fire escape after.
Okay,
him.
Bobby and I stayed in the room. Okay.
There were two people in the room. They were dressed in outlandish costumes. They had these weird turbans with streamers down their faces, red robes, and they were...
And they carried clubs?
They carried what the professor determined were ritualistic clubs. Which
is why the body that had turned up that had been beaten with blunt objects, we were honestly considering the possibility that there might be a link there.
And if you want to...
And I have sketches of all these things in my notebook I'll show the professor.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I mean the inspector.
I do as well.
Do you have any notes by any of it, Professor?
A few, yes.
Does that include Cult of the Bloody Tongue?
That would be in the notebook, but not where the sketches are.
Not even with the symbol that was carved into his forehead?
That one's in my notebook.
That one would, yes.
Okay. So he kind of looks through it and asks some general questions, and then he stops at that page with the symbol, and he says, "What is you've got noted here? Cult of the Bloody Tongue. What is that?"
That is the name that the group we encountered in New York that committed these crimes was going by.
I see. Did you interact with any other members of that group?
Technically,
We did on occasion.
Well, we can straight up say that, yeah, 2 of them came and tried to kill me.
Yeah, they came to my office while we were gone, and Bobby was there alone and ran into him as they were trying to steal basically the evidence that we had on Elias.
Yeah, young Mr. Blackwood is a photographer and had developed a number of pictures from the crime scene.
Yeah.
And they attempted to take those.
I mean, I don't think I'm speaking out of turn and saying that, I mean, worst comes to worst, you can contact the New York Police Department because all this is on record there.
Sure, no, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure I understood. Were all of the people that you interacted with part of the, or were they Egyptian?
They were
The cult of the Bloody Tongue is African, but not from Egypt. They're more, if I remember this correctly as a player, Kenyan-based.
Kenyan. Yep.
See. I will say that the ones here that I believe are tied to this Brotherhood of Black Pharaoh are definitely Egyptian. So there may be a disconnect here, or perhaps a connection that we're not seeing. But there are a lot of similarities that seem too many to be coincidence.
That's kind of how we felt about some things as well, and I hope I'm not revealing too much by saying we have seen some talk of the Brotherhood of the Black Pharaoh and some other things that we have found.
Have we?
We did. They were in the.
Yeah, out of player. We read it in the.
It's one of the books that we got. Was Life as a God was about the Black
Yeah.
Pharaoh, the one that I think Lockhart read. Or no, did you read it, Dalphus? Did you read the one about the guy who thought he was the Black Pharaoh?
The Montgomery corruption.
Yeah, Montgomery Crompton.
Wrote about the Black Pharaoh.
Life as a God. It was the weird handwritten diary that's skinned
Yes.
or something.
That's the one I read.
Yeah. So that actually referred to the, and we found that in a cache of books. That we picked up through our investigation in New York.
Yes, and so it was connected into our research, which made very interesting to see the connection of that same name, the Brotherhood of Black Pharaoh, here. So there's definitely some sort of a connection.
Yeah, we would. Our hunch, our instinct is that they are in some way connected, but
And the connection,
we have no verifiable proof
Well,
besides instinct.
the connection was the short spike clubs. The cult of the the Brotherhood of the Black Pharaoh and the cult of the Bloody Tongue both used the same
Type of clubs.
Same type of clubs.
And I guess they're technically probably in the same book. I mean that what was it? Death cults? Or
Yeah.
Dark sects of Africa.
yeah,
Name of the
that's
The Dark Six of Africa you guys actually don't have and have not seen. It's
No, but we heard
from.
Yeah.
I know, but my
Okay.
characters.
He thinks that they're probably both in there.
My character doesn't take notes, even in roughly, so it's all done by memory. So.
No, that's fine. Well, it sounds like you have brought me some information that corresponds, but doesn't necessarily corroborate anything I already have.
Sure.
It's possible that a night for the four of you at the Blue Pyramid would do better than a night where I was there, if you were interested in doing that.
We
That's
will talk about that.
yeah. I'm not. That's definitely something that we have discussed. We just, there was.
We are a little on edge, Inspector. We've already been attacked once in New York. And so if we seem a little cagey and a little not forthcoming, we're behind the eight ball on this. We're having a hard time knowing who we can trust at this point, outside of the four of us.
Having guys.
Well, and you've got a private investigator, a college professor, a library steward, and
a young debutante.
photographer.
Yeah.
I mean, I
I'm
don't.
sorry, sir. I'm a museum curator.
Oh, sure.
I went to school for that title.
I didn't spend 6 weeks in a correspondence class for museum curation.
Gosh dang it.
Called a librarian.
I was
assistant.
ordained as a museum curator by the Universal Church, and I demand respect for my title. I carry my certificate in my handbag.
Yes.
I have this laminated card.
That's right.
The four of you are not exactly police, and I wouldn't expect you to rush into the potential danger.
I mean, yeah, sure. But
he likes us, maybe.
no, all I have to say further than that is no. It sounds like the Blue Pyramid is someplace we at least need to make an appearance. But yeah. So, do you have any ideas who might be leading up such a thing in London?
If I had any kind of indication, I would be following up on it. But right now, my leads are Tufik al-Said, only because he's hiding something. I'm not quite sure what it is. Mm-hmm. And the Blue Pyramid, and I can't get anything off of that place either.
So there's no information on who owns it, who's running it?
A man named Abdul Nawisha owns the Blue Pyramid, and I believe he also runs it. But it's he's a busy man, and it's a busy club. So
it's good to have that name, though. I appreciate that.
So it sounds like, I mean, do they serve? Is it just drinks and nightcaps, or is it? Do they serve food there?
It features belly dancers, Egyptian food, and Egyptian singers.
Okay.
Ooh, a floor show.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it sounds like whoever would like to, or all three of you are going to be taking me out on a dinner date this evening.
Out of curiosity, I know this is kind of a weird question, but back in the States, when we want to pull up like a diagram or a layout of a building that's been, like registered with the city, there's a place you can go and do that. What do you do that here?
I'm sure there's an office. There is an office of record. They don't typically just give out building information like that to anyone.
I mean, they don't really do it back home either, Bobby.
Yeah,
but
there's
probably some sort of licensing or reasoning why you would need that information.
You know what? Let's table that. We might have a connection that would allow us to go. This is like, I'm kind of like talking. We could always go to the news guy and see if he might have a connection into those.
Maybe I'm fish out of water.
I'll be honest, Bobby. If are you trying to? Well, this would be something I would not discuss this in the office.
Yeah, let's wait till we convene at the.
No, I'm just a fish out of water, and I mean.
Yeah.
I don't even.
Lots changed.
I mean, obviously, you're the first person of any official stance that we can talk to, and I'm like, where else do we go to talk to people about stuff that might be able to help us? I mean, it sounds like your opinion is the Penhew Foundation was a waste of time.
Mr. Gavigan did definitely leave me with the impression that he knew nothing, he had no information, and could be of no help. I don't know that was the case, but that's the impression he left me with.
The impression as a investigator, which I'm used to going with my gut hunches, is that you might want to shake that tree a little bit more, because there might be something more to Gavigan than he is leading you to believe.
Well, now, don't insult the good inspector, Mr. Lockhart.
It's not an insult, but I think there's more there that he may. Don't give up on the Penhew Foundation.
He gave us, if you will, in the South we use a term, so forgive my Southern, but he gave us the ickies.
That does translate well, at least. I understand what you mean by that, yes.
If there were anyone in London that knows about death cults right now and would have more information than what they say, would be Mr. Gavigan.
That's the impression I got as well. I'm sure that maybe the Egyptian Museum here in London might have more information on the cult of the Black Pharaoh or the Brotherhood of the Black Pharaoh, but Gavigan seemed to think that they wouldn't have any more information than he did.
Okay.
Yeah, it's because. Never mind.
Forgive Mr. Lockhart's outbursts. He's prone to
I'm an
thinking out
excitable
loud.
person
Yeah.
sometimes.
Well, no, it
Well,
sounds like the guy's just proud of me.
We really appreciate your time, Inspector Barrington, and we will not keep you any further. You have definitely given us very helpful information.
I would like to suggest that if you come up with any information that you wanted to pass along, that it would be much appreciated, but also to remind you that this is not the Wild West as America is, and that your overzealousness, if it were to appear, could cause problems that we would have a very different conversation than this because of. Does that make sense?
I appreciate that, Inspector, but, as Americans, as you put it, we've pulled Europe's fat out of the fire.
Whoa! It's only 1925. We've only done it a little bit.
Right, already pulled their fat out of the fire. Yeah,
just once.
We've already pulled their fat out of the fire. As someone that was in the war, that's like, I'm not going to be overzealous, and I would behave accordingly.
New York and Massachusetts aren't as much of the Wild West as you might believe, but
it's not like we're from.
Anyhow, I understand. You're telling us to watch ourselves.
Some caution, perhaps. Yes.
Sure. I completely
Inspector, I myself am an Oxford man, and I assure you that we will purport ourselves accordingly while we are here.
That is good to hear, Professor.
So, good day to you, Inspector, and should we come upon anything that may be of use to you, we will be sure
Yeah, you'll be hearing from us.
to send it somehow.
Excellent. All right. So where are you guys headed from there?
So are we going to get a fourth hotel now that this
No.
guy knows where we're
Well, we didn't give him the hotel.
No, we didn't. But he does have all of our names.
And it is under an assumed name, remember. I gave him a false name.
That's right.
That's
You
right.
gave a false name.
So, yeah, let's go back to the hotel and discuss if we're going to go to the Blue Pyramid.
I think we're going to go to the Blue Pyramid. I mean,
don't want to die.
Keep your fingers crossed for me. I think I have my computer issue fixed, and I'm going to see if it'll let me open my character sheet.
nice.
Yeah.
Because can we ask the professor, once your character sheet is up, the whole Hotep thing, that didn't seem like the inspector got the correct information on that.
Yeah, does that... I mean, I don't know Egyptian. I know Arabic. But I feel like... I mean, yeah, I don't know. Can we verify, or do we need to go to a library?
Well, I'm hoping that he's got the knowledge. The professor's got the knowledge.
Do you speak Egyptian?
I do, yes. Demotic and Coptic.
Do you speak actual Egyptian?
Yes, those are both the dialects of Egyptian that would be used accompanying hieroglyphics in the time period, so yes.
Okay. I'm not even going to have you roll. Hotep means to be at peace.
Oh, it is.
So it does, yeah.
But it also refers to an offering ritually presented to a deity or a dead person. Hence, to be pleased, be gracious, be at peace. So there's...
So, like, to be appeased?
To be pleased. Pleased.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
I am
So
throwing it back to Inquain.
Like a sacrifice.
there's some depth. There's more depth to it than just to be at peace.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, character sheet's open, book is open. So what happened? My PDF Adobe froze up, and then it was saying that it was a memory problem, so I had to clean something up. Yeah, something was taxing my RAM. It's crazy. I got 16 gigs of RAM, but something was taxing it, and it did not like. Adobe was having some sort of a problem, so I guess with all the stream and everything going on, but it's cool now.
Sweet. But yeah, once we get back to the hotel, I am gonna say that I should have asked if it. Can we say that we tried to get when I asked about nightcaps and things like that? If it's got like, is it more of a it's not a casual place for sure. It's like more of a, especially this time in England. I don't know if there really are casual.
Yeah, there's no real casual.
Okay, so we need to look fairly nice.
You don't have to be in. You don't need
Black
to be in a
tie.
cocktail dress, but something nicer.
Sure. Okay, I can do that.
Do we want to go there?
I think we need to.
I figure we do need to, but do we want to go? I'm gonna just put this out there. I'm looking around. I mean, we have no reason to think anybody's listening on us or anything else right now.
I mean, I don't believe that like bugs are a thing.
Well, no, but I mean, walls aren't too thin here, things like that.
No.
Right.
We're at the Waldorf now, aren't we?
No, you're at the Savoy.
The Savoy. That's what it was.
Savoy, and I believe
Good
that
construction.
I believe that we as cautious and paranoid people have all of our group conversations in the exact center of the room, crouching so that we're somewhere in between equally the ceiling and the floor.
In the center of the living room area, sitting area of
Okay.
the suite that is surrounded by the bedrooms.
With a blanket thrown over our heads like a cone of silence.
In the cone of
Okay,
silence.
I'm not that paranoid yet.
Whispering into each other's ears. Yeah.
Hey, so I had an idea.
But I think that maybe we should go see the Spice Guy first.
Well, he's at the place.
No.
No, these are two different locations.
Oh, I thought you said that the Egyptian the Blue Pyramid was the same place as the Spice Place.
No, two different places.
no.
They're both in Soho.
Yeah.
Oh.
The Spice Place we were staking out and we saw that guy go to.
Right. So, okay, well then, yeah, I misunderstood.
The Blue Pyramid is a restaurant.
Is a nightclub. Yeah, that's why I thought it was odd, but
Well, no.
I thought somebody said that's the address that we...
Before we go running back to Soho, do we need to discuss about the fact that the inspector was a little concerned that we may have been involved with a certain closet boy?
Only that we need
Did you
to
get
move our
that?
time
Did you
frame
get
up.
that impression? I mean, I know he mentioned it, but
It seemed
I
like he
think
was
if-
trying to.
I think if
He mentioned it directly in response to your question if there
about
were any
murders,
Yeah. Okay. So he's not.
and so there
okay.
was
If
a
there were
murder.
any other what? I'm sorry, you just cut out for me.
murders.
Murders, okay.
They discovered someone in the closet.
So he may be concerned that we're tied to the murders then.
He might be.
No, I don't think so. I think you're all jumping to conclusions. I think I asked about, or Lockhart asked about other murders in the area if there had been any more recently, because the one that we knew of was a month ago.
Right. Well, he just seemed really
he said-
insistent that asking if we had been anywhere else, if we had investigated anything else. It just made me feel like
I don't know. I think, and I believe if Miles Shipley had said 4 Americans came in and did something to me, and locked me in a closet and killed my mother, I think we wouldn't have walked out of that office.
I'm actually surprised that Gavigan left him alive.
I don't.
Remember, they were trying to cover it up. Or at least
Oh,
that's the
they sent
impression we
it-
had.
They sent in a cop or whatever, or we think they did.
Right.
Well,
I
he
don't-
sure didn't say anything about the mention of a dead snake person, so
That's true.
That's true. He did not. So, but as I said, I don't feel like Officer Barrington is necessarily suspect of us, except for the fact that we come into his office asking about murders,
Yeah.
So,
which is fairly suspect as tourists.
well, I think we need to hit either location, because I think if we go to the Spice Place and talk to Al Saeed, he's going to let everybody else know
sure.
that we're onto this. So we need to decide
I
which
feel like-
location is going to be the best
I
one for
feel
us
like
to go
we
to.
should go to Al Saeed. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Jewell Rumtree did not drink enough coffee this morning. No, I believe if we're going to go to the spice shop, we should do that during the day.
But my point is, if
I
we
know
go,
that
if
he'll alert people.
he's going to alert, and they're going to be ready for us at other, just be more alert. Whether or not they expect us to go to the Blue Pyramid or not.
I don't think they will. But
Okay.
my overall reason why is I think the Blue Pyramid is going to be bad.
I agree.
We're going into a place
Where they're killing people.
where people are dying. There are going to be a great number of people. I'm expecting there to be a fight of some sort. And
Rub my jaw like I'm not ready for that.
yeah, I think that the moment that happens, we're going to find ourselves. There may be a case where we are leaving
My issue.
and going to the spice store. We won't be able to do that. I think the spice store is a safer option for the first thing. We're going to be dealing with less people.
Need I remind you about the Juju house in
See,
New York?
that's my concern, is that the Juju house was just supposed to be us going into a nice little tea shop
That's why I wanted
and
to
talking to somebody.
That's why I
And
wanted to.
he fired a weapon.
That's why I wanted to look up floor plans and see if maybe the place has a basement.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now that I'm just going to, on a hunch, say that that basement at the Juju house is not on the floor plans.
No.
I mean, call me crazy, but
If we go to the Spice House, Jewel, be armed, please, this time.
I have being armed is not a problem this time. As I said, I thought this was a consulting trip, and Mr. Quayne took it to a different place.
It went sideways.
So,
Okay, so let's, not so much narrative, but yeah, let's go to the Spice House and see what happens.
about what time of day is it after we have this conversation, Matt?
It's right at lunch, so you could probably grab lunch on the way and then head over to the spice shop just after lunch.
Now, I will ask, what are we going in there to talk to him about? Or do we just want to seem like we are tourists and, oh, this is a lovely spice shop? Or...
I mean, if we all four walk in, it's going to be a little weird about tourists. I don't know. I mean,
do we not all four go in?
We're definitely not doing what we did with Galvigan.
No, well, we're not. Yeah, no, that's why I want to talk about things before we leave.
It's a good idea. Well, do you feel comfortable heading in yourself to buy some spices and to find out some information?
Why? Because I'm a woman and I cook?
No, because you're a woman and you...
And I know what spices are.
No.
Why? Overall, why were the police looking into the spice house?
Are you okay, Matt?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tufik Al-Said is a known Egyptian in Soho and is tied in some way to the Blue Pyramid, probably as a patron of that from time to time.
And he just is suspicious of Egyptians right now because of this.
Okay, but we also know that the guys talked to, what's his name? The Penhue Foundation.
Well, we
guy.
know that we know that Gavigan frequents
here.
there. Yeah.
Okay, so
I want to
See,
go
that's
in.
another thing that's a little concerning is that Edward Gavigan went in there after we did not show up. Al-Said could very well be aware of us.
Yeah, he could be. He could also just, maybe he was low on turmeric.
He might be aware of some people, but I've been kind of in the background a little, and I wouldn't mind going in there and acting like I'm a reporter looking for information on the exact same thing the cop was.
Or go in and get information on what goes on at the Blue Pyramid. Go in to buy some spice and be like...
You don't want to mention the Blue
I don't
Pyramid?
want to mention the Blue Pyramid because if we're going there next, I don't want them knowing where we're going next.
All right, let's do it. Let's body
You're
go
more
in
than
and we'll
welcome. Are
cover
you taking your camera?
Yeah, exactly.
So you're going to go in by yourself?
I can, starting out. If it looks like something's getting worse, y'all be nearby.
Are you going to talk like you're talking right now, or are you going to affect an accent and try to make him believe that you are a Briton?
No, I don't think I'm going to try and fake an accent. I don't have much of a good chance of that. I could be.
If it's run by Egyptians, I mean, I can speak to them.
The Bobby and the professor could go in. Bobby could be the camera boy. The professor could be the reporter and actually talk to him in Egyptian. That might actually...
And we're asking specifically about the murders?
Death cults?
Yeah. Honestly, I think that's a good way to start. But you
Okay.
tell me. I mean, what else?
I'm not gonna tell you anything. I
don't find it a bad plan, Bobby. I kind of
yeah.
like it.
If y'all are in agreement, I will go along and I'm concerned walking into a spice shop and just how does it seem at all bigoted or racist to walk into a spice shop run by an Egyptian and say, hey, what do you know about death cults?
That's a little more modern consideration. You got to think more 1920s.
I don't know.
Here's the question.
It's pretty like, wow, you didn't even ask me what if I sell ginger. It's just, death cults, okay.
We need to go get some lunch, right?
We
Yeah.
do.
So what if we can find a place in Soho where we can see the spice shop, where we can eat lunch, and we can just watch the shop for a little bit before we go in?
Yeah, that's
See if
fine.
there's a lot of people going in and out that, maybe we can see anybody we recognize from the Pinhue.
Sure. Sure.
Let's just stick it out a little bit. Then we'll locate where the Blue Pyramid is and make some plans over lunch.
That's fine. And Bobby and Bobby can go into the spy shop at some point if you wish.
Okay.
Yeah,
We're
Jewell
gonna
and I
have
can-
to talk to Al Said at some point.
Okay. So you guys find a small cafe down like 2 or 3 buildings from the spice shop and across the street. Grab lunch there, sit and eat inside. What's the plan?
I'm gonna watch the door, and I'm probably gonna actually take some photos if I see anybody going in there. That, yeah, that's pretty much about it.
Okay.
At least for me.
A few people go in and out. Nothing, not a whole lot. It doesn't seem to be a heavy traffic area. Can I get everybody to give me a spot hidden?
Sure.
Oof. And I'm sorry, I was distracted during a conversation with Inspector Barrington, but what did he tell us about the spice shop?
That he spoke with Tuflik Al Said about the Brotherhood of the Black Pharaoh, and Tufik said that they didn't exist. There's no modern equivalent.
I got a normal success on that spot hidden.
Let's see.
I have a normal.
I got a hard success on that spot hidden.
I got an extreme.
Nice.
Yeah. Thank you for those dice.
Told you.
Mhm.
Those were the metal dice.
Nice. Those are the ones Amanda got me. Or no, those are the ones I bought.
Okay. So everybody that got a success or better, none of the faces that you see are any of the other people that you have seen going in and out of Gavin or the Pinhue Foundation.
Okay.
So
Do we see Mr. Al Said come in or out at all?
no, you don't see him come in or out.
Okay. Well, Bobby, do you want to go in?
Yeah.
All right. Are you going with him, Dalphus?
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
So I think
All right, so
Jewell and I will stay here since we have
we'll
eyes on the
stay
door.
here. We have eyes on it.
We'll order dessert.
Yeah, we'll order dessert and
Why, Professor? Why don't you let me do some of the talking? Because if they think that we don't know what they're saying, maybe they'll let something slip to each other.
that's
That's
smart.
not a bad
yeah,
plan.
yeah. I wouldn't give away that you can speak the language so quickly. Can we work out? I don't know how to do this. Does the spy shop have windows?
There are small display windows.
Small display windows, but okay. Trying to figure out if there's a way that you guys can signal us if you need us to come in.
If they need us to come in, like, for help, they can just yell. I mean, there's no need to be subtle at that point. If they need the help,
Okay.
I'll do some, and I'll break a window if I have to. You'll know.
Okay. All right, Boom Boom.
All right. Actually, before we get into this, I know we're going to cut it a little short. And I know we got started a little late. But either I need to get up and walk around for a couple minutes, or we need to call it. So what would you guys rather do?
I figure that we'll let's go ahead and just call it, because this has been about a good length for a single episode.
yeah.
Sure, sure.
And then yeah, we'll just start fresh with Bobby and the professor going in.
Sure.
To the spy. Does the spy shop have a name? Did I miss that?
It's the spice shop.
So just called the spy shop. Okay, I think that's why I got confused, because the only name I remember hearing was the Blue
Spices
Pyramid.
R Us.
I doubt that's it too.
It's the Ardor Street Spice Shop.
Ardor Street Spice Shop.
Yep.
Alrighty. But yeah, let's go ahead and call it here and do a couple quick shout outs to folks.
Yeah, big thanks to Roxy's cousins, whose name I have already forgotten.
Yeah, Night Fury 8583. You can tune in, I believe, on Sundays, maybe Wednesdays. I can't remember which night they stream. It seems like it kind of happens when they're available. But Dicey Adventures, and it's also Dicey Adventures on YouTube. And they are now on the podcasts, and they are on the iTunes. So, and anywhere else you can get podcasts. Nice. Look for Dicey Adventures. First 2 episodes are out. If you want to see more of that, like I said, it is on their YouTube, and then they stream on Twitch at least once a week. That might not be true with the holidays coming up.
Yeah.
But yeah, please check them out. They are good friends of ours, obviously family to me. And they've got a great D&D 5th Ed actual play. If you like Critical Role, you will like what they're doing over there. And they aren't as family friendly as we are. So if you want somebody to drop more F-bombs than we do, they got you.
Well, that would be like one more than we do because we've never dropped one yet in one of our streams.
Yeah, I think the closest I got, I even stopped before I used the Lord's name in vain. Just
Jiminy
in case
Crickets.
Yeah. We need to use our 1920 slang file that I found.
That's where I got the behind the 8 ball.
Behind the 8 ball. There you go. But anyhow, yeah, we want to shout them out. And thank you to all new viewers and new followers tonight. Voy, that was in chat earlier with us during our question and answer, and then did chime in a little bit ago after we started playing. So thank you all for watching. And
don't forget, we've got social media out there, so you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Facebook and Twitter.
Yeah,
Facebook and Twitter.
We don't have an Instagram.
Definitely check those out. Go. What were you saying?
So we do not have an Instagram for Quiet Gentlemen, but all of our podcasts have, like Passion Nerdly podcasts, and John and I and Shawn and Matt are all on. I think David is too, but I don't know if he uses it. Are all on the Instagrams, but we're definitely all on Twitter and the Facebooks.
And if you've missed any past episodes, you can find those on YouTube. There's a link down below us, so check that out as well. So yeah, thank you guys for coming out, and we will see you in 2 weeks.
Yay! Happy holidays, everybody.
Yep, happy
Bye,
holidays.
guys.
We'll see you.